YouTube crew, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going over a brand new way to quickly level up your weapons. I honestly think this is the best way to go about leveling up your guns right now. I did it a little bit earlier. I took my lop up from level 4 to level 55 max level in about an hour and 20 minutes. It was super quick. Now, you can also use this to unlock guns. I know a lot of you have been asking me, Joe, how do I go about unlocking weapons that I don't have? Well, you can definitely use this method as well. Now, we only have a week to do this. 1 week is all you have, so make sure that you take advantage of it. Now, first things first, when it comes to leveling up guns, the obvious, let's get the obvious out of the way, you have to pop double weapon XP tokens. You know, this is obviously going to cut the time in half for you, so make sure that you have those popped. Second is you want to go into your class, make sure that you have Point Man on for your perk 2. This is going to give you a little bit extra contract XP, which on top of the double weapon XP token is really going to help things progress faster. Now, let's get into the meat of how we go about leveling guns up so quickly. What is new today versus yesterday, versus a week ago, versus a month ago? And the answer is we have Rebirth Blood Money Quads, aka Rebirth Plunder, which I think is going to be a fantastic way to go about quickly leveling up guns. And let me tell you exactly why I feel that way. First things first, when you are dropping into Caldera Plunder, right? You drop in by yourself, you die, you obviously keep flying back in, but the only way to successfully level up guns is really to go no-fills, because the moment that you and your whole squad die, you spawn out in Narnia. Well, Rebirth is a small map, so if your whole squad dies, there's only so far that you can go, and people are all over the map, and contracts are all over the map. So you're really in a good spot to complete a lot of contracts, which we're going to get into strategies on how to quickly level up guns. Let's talk about the second one, which is multiplayer. Look, first of all, you got to pay for multiplayer, right? Not everybody has it. Warzone's free to play, multiplayer is not. Not everybody has it. It's also a complete sweat fest. It's super irritating. It's very, very tough early on to actually be able to get kills with guns to level them up. So I think Rebirth Plunder is going to be a much better option than multiplayer. The third is going to be obviously Rebirth Resurgence, right? Just trying to use it in Rebirth Resurgence, which you don't spawn in with your guns like you do in Plunder, and you potentially die and lose your guns. So Rebirth Resurgence isn't really an option. Now, why do I love Rebirth Plunder so much? Well, here's the first reason. One, it's going to help you continue getting better. It's going to help you learn the map a little bit more. It's going to put you in situations where you got to fight people. But more than anything, I think you just get to know the map a little bit better, which is such a crucial component of success. Now, should you run fills or no fills? Should you fill your squad when dropping in? And in my opinion, obviously you're watching gameplay here where I'm solo queued and I don't have any teammates. But in my opinion, you should fill your squad if you are looking to level up guns here. I think it's going to make it much easier for you, and we're going to get into exactly why in a second when talking about gameplay strategy. But real quick, for all things Rebirth, whether it's knowing what the meta is, staying up to date about Rebirth changes, or what I do most of the time, which is tips to continue getting better at Rebirth. You know, get more kills, die a little less, and get more wins. Take a few seconds, just consider hitting that subscribe button down below so that my content gets pushed to you a little bit more. And I do videos every single day. I live stream on YouTube 4 days a week. So if you want to know when I'm posting and when I'm going live, make sure you join the Noti gang. Now let's talk about strategy to leveling up guns. What are the different ways that we can do this? Now, this is where I say you should drop in with a squad. Ideally, a squad of people that you know so that everybody can be on the same page. First thing is the easiest way, which is contracts. I started out a lot of games by looking at a cluster of area where there are supply runs. Keep in mind, because of Rebirth on the smaller map, the supply runs don't go very far. So you don't need a heli or anything to complete the contracts. They're very easy to do. You know, I'd have somebody drop down, grab a supply run, have one person float, and then immediately land on that. Boom, that is a contract completed. And I'd be looking for a lot of supply run contracts to do. That is really going to give you that contract bonus and really allow you to level up that gun super quick. Now, option number 2 is going to be bounty contracts. Hunting somebody, getting that kill, and ultimately being able to complete that contract. Now, this is really where I talk about the fact that a full squad is going to be helpful for you. I had a lot of situations where I grabbed a bounty contract, and then I just happen to die. Well, that contract now goes away. I don't still have the ability to complete that contract. But if you grab a bounty contract as a full squad and one person dies, that contract is still alive. Now, ideally, you get the kill on that bounty contract, but a lot of times what happens is because of the congestion of Rebirth, that person actually gets poached. So we're in a situation where you grab a bounty contract, it gets poached, you still get some contract XP. You don't get the full contract XP, but you still do get some. Now, the last one that I would highly recommend doing is the big game bounty. Of course, this is marked as one person, but same thing here. You know, it may get poached, you may kill him yourself and still get that weapon XP. The last thing I'll tell you, and this is where I actually solo queued in with the goal of doing this, as well as some contracts, is just to get as many kills as possible. You know, when you start running out of contracts, you're noticing that there's not many left to do, especially if you have to travel all the way to the other side. You know, your living quarters, there's a supply run all the way over in Chem. You know, it may not make the most sense to do it. Just start running around, pop UAVs, push people, get kills, continue becoming a better player, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow, but put yourself in engagements. Just start to really use this gun, get kills with it. And the reason I love doing this more than anything, because you actually get a feel for using this gun. You start to understand the recoil pattern. You start to understand the mobility of it and how to hit shots with it. So use Rebirth Plunder over the next week to unlock guns, to level up guns, no matter what it is. Use this to your advantage. Queue in with a squad. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.